In the bustling heart of Los Angeles, where the sun kissed the palm trees and dreams floated like smog in the air, lived Elena Ramirez. At 52, she had spent most of her life scrubbing floors and dusting shelves in the opulent homes of Hollywood's elite. Her hands, calloused from years of labor, told stories of sacrifice, but her eyes, bright and unwavering, held the fire of unyielding hope. Elena had immigrated from a small town in Mexico decades ago, chasing the American dream not for herself, but for her son, Marco. Marco Ramirez was 28, a rising star in the film industry. He had started as an extra in low-budget commercials, his handsome features and natural charisma catching the eye of agents. Over time, he transitioned into producing, fueled by a passion for storytelling that Elena had nurtured in him since childhood. She would read him bedtime stories from old fairy tale books, her voice weaving magic into the mundane. "One day, mijo," she would say, "you'll tell stories that change the world." Their modest apartment in East LA was a far cry from the mansions Elena cleaned, but it was filled with love and ambition. Marco's big break came when he pitched a script about immigrant families chasing success in the City of Angels. It resonated with a few investors, but funds were tight. That's when Elena made her decision. She had saved every penny from her cleaning jobs, squirreling away tips and overtime pay into a secret account. It amounted to $50,000, her entire life savings, meant for retirement or emergencies. "Marco, take it," she said one evening, handing him a check with trembling hands. "This is for your company, Ramirez Productions. Make it something real, something that honors where we come from." Marco's eyes widened. "Mom, I can't. That's your future." "Your future is my future," she replied firmly. "I've cleaned enough houses to know that dreams don't come cheap. Go build yours." Reluctantly, Marco accepted. With the money, he formed a partnership with Derek Voss, a slick 30-something executive from a wealthy Beverly Hills family. Derek brought connections, studio deals, celebrity endorsements, and a polished business acumen that Marco lacked. Together, they launched Ramirez Productions, focusing on diverse stories often overlooked by mainstream Hollywood. The early days were exhilarating. Elena visited the small office they rented in a strip mall, bringing homemade tamales for the team. She beamed with pride as Marco directed his first short film, a heartfelt piece about a mother's unwavering support. It won a local award, and whispers of promise began to circulate. But as the company grew, cracks appeared. Derek, with his designer suits and fast-talking charm, started sidelining Elena. At their first investor meeting, he introduced her as Marco's helpful assistant, dismissing her role. Elena smiled politely, but inside it stung. She wasn't just an investor, she was the foundation. One afternoon, as Elena mopped the floor of a producer's mansion, she overheard a conversation about Ramirez Productions. "That new kid Marco has potential, but his partner Derek is the real brains, keeps the family drama out of the spotlight." Family drama? Elena's heart sank. She confronted Marco that night over dinner. "Mijo, is Derek treating you right? He seems distant." Marco sighed, rubbing his temples. "He's just business-oriented, Mom. We need that to survive in this town." Elena nodded, but doubt lingered. She continued her cleaning jobs, refusing to dip into the company's funds. Her investment was a gift, not a loan. Yet as months passed, Derek's influence grew. He pushed for glossier projects, ones with big-name stars and commercial appeal. Marco resisted at first, wanting to stay true to authentic narratives, but the allure of success was tempting. Their breakthrough came with City of Shadows, a thriller about a young immigrant navigating LA's underbelly. Elena's savings had funded the initial script development and casting. The film premiered at a small festival, garnering rave reviews. Offers poured in, distribution deals, sequels, even talks of Oscars. At the premiere party, held at a trendy rooftop venue, Elena arrived in her best dress, a simple floral number she'd bought on sale. Marco hugged her tightly. "This is because of you, Mom." But Derek pulled Marco aside. "Listen, buddy, your mom's great, but she doesn't fit the image. Investors want glamour, not this." He gestured vaguely at Elena, who was chatting with crew members. Marco frowned. "She's the reason we're here." Derek wiped it off. "Just keep her in the background for now. Trust me." Elena overheard snippets, her smile fading. She excused herself early, claiming fatigue from work. Back home, she stared at the ceiling, tears welling. Had she given everything only to be pushed aside? The next day, Marco called. "Mom, the film's a hit. We're expanding." "That's wonderful," she said, forcing cheer. But inside, she wondered if her place in his world was shrinking. As Ramirez Productions boomed, Derek orchestrated a rebranding. He hired publicists who crafted a narrative of two young visionaries conquering Hollywood. Elena's contribution was reduced to a footnote in press releases. When Marco suggested crediting her publicly, Derek laughed. "Come on, man. Funded by my mom doesn't scream blockbuster." Elena kept quiet, focusing on her cleaning roots. She visited the office less often, sensing the unspoken exclusion. One evening, Elena found a company memo in Marco's bag, plans for a merger that would dilute her shares. Her heart raced. She owned 40%, silently, a safeguard she'd insisted on in the initial agreement. Confronting Marco, she asked, "Is this true? Are you selling out?" "It's growth, Mom. Derek says it's necessary." "And what do you say?" she pressed. He hesitated. I trust him." Elena's resolve hardened. She wouldn't let her dream be stolen. Quietly, she began researching business law, borrowing books from the library during breaks. She wasn't just a cleaner, she was a fighter. Meanwhile, Derek's true colors emerged. He partied with stars, charging expenses to the company. Rumors of shady deals surfaced. Favors exchanged for roles, budgets inflated for personal gain. Marco turned a blind eye, dazzled by the success. One night, Elena dreamed of her late husband, who had always said, "Family is the script that never ends." Waking, she knew she had to act. The chapter built tension as Elena uncovered more. Derek had been embezzling small amounts, covering tracks with creative accounting. She confided in an old friend, a retired lawyer from one of the homes she cleaned. "You have rights, Elena. Don't let them erase you." Armed with knowledge, she attended a board meeting unannounced. Derek's face paled. "What are you doing here?" "I'm an owner," she said calmly, "and I have questions." Marco looked shocked, but Elena stood firm. The meeting ended in chaos, with Derek storming out. That night, Derek called Marco. "Get rid of her, or I'm out." Marco faced a choice: loyalty to his partner or his mother. As the sun set over LA, Elena whispered to herself, "This is just the beginning." The glamour of Hollywood masked a labyrinth of deceit, and Elena navigated it with the precision of someone who had cleaned every hidden corner. After the board meeting confrontation, tensions at Ramirez Productions escalated. Derek Voss, ever the smooth operator, downplayed the incident. "Your mom's just stressed from her job," he told Marco. "Let's focus on the next project." But Elena wasn't backing down. She spent her evenings poring over financial statements, her kitchen table cluttered with papers. Her cleaning shifts left her exhausted, but adrenaline fueled her. She discovered discrepancies, expenses for lavish dinners, unexplained wire transfers. Derek was siphoning funds, betting on Marco's inexperience to hide it. Marco, caught in the middle, tried mediating. "Mom, Derek's explained everything. It's just Hollywood accounting." "Hollywood accounting?" Elena scoffed. "That's code for theft, mijo. Open your eyes." Their arguments grew heated, straining their bond. Marco felt torn between his mother's warnings and Derek's promises of stardom. The company was on the cusp of a major deal, producing a blockbuster with A-list talent. Derek had secured it through his connections, but Elena suspected strings attached. One afternoon, while cleaning a director's home, Elena overheard a phone call. "Yeah, Derek's cutting corners again. That Ramirez kid is clueless." Her blood boiled. She snapped a photo of a document on the desk, a contract linking Derek to a rival studio, potentially sabotaging their film. Confronting Derek privately, she said, "I know what you're doing. Stop, or I'll expose you." He smirked. "Expose what? You're a cleaner, Elena. No one will believe you over me." His words ignited her fury. She wasn't just a cleaner. She was a mother protecting her legacy. She hired a private investigator with her remaining savings, a risky move that left her account bare. The investigator uncovered dirt, Derek's history of failed ventures, lawsuits settled quietly. He had a pattern, partnering with naive talents, bleeding them dry, then moving on. Marco, meanwhile, dove deeper into production. City of Shadow sequels were greenlit, and Marco directed scenes with passion. But Derek's influence crept in, altering scripts to appeal to broader audiences, diluting the cultural essence. At a rap party, Derek humiliated Elena again. She arrived to support Marco, but Derek cornered her. "Stay out of the business side. You don't belong here." Guests whispered, and Elena left in tears. Marco followed. "Mom, I'm sorry. I'll talk to him." But talk wasn't enough. Elena filed a formal complaint with the company's lawyer, demanding an audit. Derek retaliated by freezing her access to records, claiming security reasons. The battle lines were drawn. Marco, pressured by Derek, distanced himself. Family dinners became rare, replaced by late-night calls where Elena pleaded, "Remember why we started this." As the merger loomed, Elena discovered the ultimate betrayal. Derek planned to oust Marco post-deal, claiming full control. She had proof. Emails hacked? No. Obtained legally through her investigator. Rushing to Marco's apartment, she showed him. "He's using you, mijo." Marco's face crumpled. How could I be so blind? They hugged, the first real connection in months. But Derek, sensing trouble, accelerated the merger. Elena knew time was short. She attended industry events incognito, networking with old contacts from her cleaning days. Many owed her favors, secrets she'd kept while dusting their lives. One ally, a powerful producer, advised, "Sue for your share, make it public." Elena hesitated. Publicity could ruin Marco's reputation, but silence would destroy everything. The chapter climaxed at a gala. Derek announced the merger triumphantly. Elena, dressed elegantly, borrowed from a client, stepped forward during Q&A. "As majority investor, I veto this." Gasps echoed. Derek blustered. "She's delusional." But Elena presented documents. Chaos ensued, with press snapping photos. Marco stood by her side. "Mom's right. This ends now." As they left, Elena whispered, "We're rewriting our story." The flash bulbs popped like fireworks as Elena and Marco exited the gala, the weight of their decisions settling in. Hollywood thrived on scandal, and this one was juicy. A mother-son duo challenging a rising mogul. Headlines screamed, "Family Feud rocks Ramirez Productions" the next day. Derek wasted no time. He lawyered up with a high-powered firm, countersuing for defamation and breach of contract. "She's a disgruntled relative," his statement read. No real stake. But Elena's stake was ironclad. Her initial investment agreement, drafted simply but solidly, granted her significant shares. She retained a pro bono attorney, a sharp young lawyer inspired by her story. The lawsuit dragged on for months. Courtrooms became Elena's new battlefield, trading mops for affidavits. She balanced depositions with cleaning jobs, her resilience shining. Derek testified reluctantly, admitting Derek's manipulations. "He played me," he said, voice breaking. Derek's team painted Elena as opportunistic, but witnesses, crew members, investors, corroborated her claims. The embezzlement evidence sealed it. Mid-trial, a bombshell. Derek's past frauds surfaced thanks to Elena's investigator. The judge ruled in their favor. Derek was forced to resign, paying damages that restored Elena's savings. Victory was bittersweet. The company teetered, reputation tarnished. Elena and Marco rebuilt from scratch, focusing on independent films. Elena directed her first scene, her vision clear. "This is our comeback," she said. Marco nodded. Together. As awards buzzed for their new project, Elena reflected. Strength came from roots, not spotlights. Post-lawsuit, Ramirez Productions rose from ashes like a phoenix in the LA skyline. Elena and Marco restructured, emphasizing ethical practices and family themes. Elena stepped into a producer role, her insights invaluable. She mentored young talents, drawing from life experiences. Their first indie film, Mother's Legacy, mirrored their journey, a tale of betrayal and triumph. It premiered to acclaim, winning festivals. Marco rediscovered his passion, directing with heart. Elena handled finances, ensuring transparency. Challenges arose, funding shortages, industry skepticism, but their bond fortified them. A major studio offered partnership, fair terms this time. They accepted, cautiously. As success mounted, Elena retired from cleaning, focusing on philanthropy for immigrant families. At an awards ceremony, they won Best Picture. Marco dedicated it to Elena. "My partner, my mom." Tears flowed. Their empire was built on love, unbreakable. Years later, Ramirez Productions was a Hollywood staple, known for authentic stories. Elena, now a revered figure, inspired countless. Marco married, starting a family. Elena grandmothered with joy, sharing tales. A biopic about Elena's life was in works, directed by Marco. Reflecting on her journey, Elena wrote a memoir, From Mops to Movies. At a family gathering, she toasted, "Dreams are family heirlooms. Pass them on." Their legacy endured, a testament to perseverance and unity. Hollywood had changed them, but they changed it more.